All right, let's try to do an install together and see if this thing doesn't. Oh, it didn't die. All right. Oh, no, it didn't. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to talk through this. Coincidentally, Spotify is actually playing in my ears right now at the same time. So if I bust into song, it's just because a good one came on. So, backpack sprayer, something new. Figure I'll tell you guys about this thing. I have it for something else that I'm planning on doing. What am I doing? I'm talking, chew gum at the same time. But I will say, man, that is really soapy today. It's cool, but also when you're 45 years old like me, it can be a little brutal on the back. So there's that. Dustin mentioned earlier today, assuming that we're doing the video at the same time, about how water and dust. Yes, Dustin. We actually do a little bit of misting. You'll see me do that all the time. This is one of the reasons I smell like soap often, is I'll do a misting, mist in the air. It's one of the ways we knock contamination out of the air. When we originally designed this clean room, we were going to have misters that came through the room and sprayed down the cars. And, it just seems like a little overkill when I can do exactly what I just did. So, another way that we knock down contamination, kind of do like a pre-wipe down. Now, obviously this car's already been washed. It's been prepped. All the edges were prepped. And what I mean by edges are prepped is that we go through with like a wax and grease remover and knock down anything additional along the edges, on the panel. We get those things as clean as absolutely possible. And I've always said it's like cleaning, like you're looking at toilet paper, as gross as that is. You want it clean. You look at the towel, you make sure that it's clean. And then we have another thing that we do, and gel is not going to be in this keg for long, but for right now it is, which is why I'm still using backpack sprayer. I don't need this much gel, but usually I can just suffice with just a spray bottle for gel, because we're not using a ton of it. But I needed the gel to do a truck. I made a 50-50 solution, but this is getting deep into the weeds. But anyway, I needed gel to spray a long distance onto a hood, so it went into the keg. And so until I get it used all up, there's like a whole gallon of gel in there, and I don't use a ton. So rather than wasting the gel, which is expensive, I'm just using it up, and that's why I'm using backpack sprayer. So, there you go. Gloves is one of those things you'll see me sometimes install with, and sometimes not. I do not feel like a lot of contamination comes from hands, in my case. Maybe for some people, I am not a very hairy person. Also, my hands are not particularly oily, and I clean them off. So, if anything, I run dry. So this peel board, worth its freaking weight in gold. I don't even know why an insulation shop wouldn't have a peel board other than just. I don't know. There's like literally no excuse to not have a peel board. Why you would work horizontally or off anything else, you got me. But that's been the theme of this week, is just limiting things like contamination. I'm talking through those things. So, oh, look at that. Didn't take 12 people to carry an old car. Amazing. So you can see, like, it wants to kind of slide. Not that I'm doing an educational course on, and I'm kind of doing things out of work. We're not super efficient because I'm doing a video. This is hot water. Let me see if I can. Oh no, it won't turn all the way. So I have a coffee bubbler there. And I keep hot water in it. Hot water does a few things for my install. It allows the film to get a little bit more malleable. Did I say it right? You know, that's just one of those words. But then at the same time, I need the room kind of cool so that this glue doesn't set up. So right now we're 68 degrees. Humidity's a little high, it's 50%. I monitor everything and we kind of keep this room a little different. That's another thing as I'm talking through this squeegee. Climate control really makes a difference on installs. Our old shop, one of the reasons we moved here, that location-wise, our old shop, what was it, 5 years ago now, going on 5 years ago now, on Route 9, location-wise, that was a fantastic location. I like the location. But you could not control, it was a block building. So in the summers it was an oven. And during the winters it was just not insulated enough. So it made installations just incredibly challenging. And rather than trying to invest in that space, plus all the hardships we ran into there with issues with adjacent tenant. If you followed me that long, you know some funny stories. We ended up, they still have a pending lawsuit against them. Well, no, the lawsuit is not pending. It was judgment in my favor. But apparently collecting is the hard part. So if any attorneys are watching that would like to make, I'd say, I don't know what's fair, 30% cut. If you want to get the money for me, I'll give you 30%. It's not a whole lot. It's like closing it on $3,000. So I don't know, if you're bored, you just like doing stuff for fun, collecting money when somebody's a jerk, I will give you all of the stacks of paperwork and you can go to town. So I'm just aligning this all out, dropping things and talking at the same time. And we just kind of squeegee. This is so soothing. You want stress relief, take up squeegeeing bubbles. A lot of this is about alignment, reading the film. I don't think I need to tell you that I make it look easy. Try even just taking packing tape and making something look decent with it. Not suggesting that you wrap your car in packing tape. We did have a customer, him and his friend showed up, and they had used, it's called tack wrap, it's like a temporary paint protection film to just kind of protect the car while it's in transit before you get your real PPF install done. So it's not meant to be installed pretty, but I think they got a quick taste of like how weird it is to work with, because you got a statically charged clinging roll of film, paper with this essentially elaborate tape, and you're trying to make this stuff clear. Like, there is no more particular of a client than, that wants stuff close to perfection than someone that's concerned with rock chips and tiny spots in the car. So this is art. I don't care what anybody says. This is art, and it's why I love it so much. Before I was a computer science major, I was an art major, and occasionally I'll reference that when people are like saying that they cut perfect circles, like hand cut perfect circles. I generally don't believe anybody when they tell me they hand cut with a razor blade a perfect circle, because one of the things you do in like art classes, if you take in any like the early introductory type art classes in college or what have you, is like you'll do shapes, and how you learn to draw a circle really is you kind of like you do the circle a lot, and so you take like the average of your rings, and any very good artist still cannot do a perfect circle. So I mean, I guess there's probably some people that can hand cut a perfect circle. I don't believe that they can do it 100% of the time. But that's what Instagram's for. So flex a bunch of stuff that can't be done. So I can get pretty darn close with one, but I mean, why pain myself with that? I'll use a template. So I have some of my secrets. I don't usually tell everybody how I do all the things I do, but if I don't pattern cut a sensor, that would be when I would be doing a circle. Is this thing even on me? I guess we're just talking, because this thing doesn't like to work. Great investment. Circles. So circles would be when you have like sensors. Whereas one of my old reps said, a drain plug. So sensors on a car, you would do a circle. I don't recommend hand cutting those unless you got to. I have dies that are the exact shape. I can actually use the die to cut out the film. So if I don't cut it on the plotter, I can actually use a die that's got a blade that's a perfect circle and go around it. No, you can't figure out where to get one. I'm not telling you. No, I'm not hoarding that information, but please don't fill my inbox with where do I find that. Unless I like you. You already know if I like you. Because you'd know if I didn't. So, there we have it. That's the basis. That panel, now it looks like there's nothing there, aside from the edges. And I'm not going to give away all my secrets in one video. I guess the 3D, or the 360 tracker is not going to work all the time. So, maybe it just needs a charge. We'll figure that out, and hopefully the next one is better for you.